Here we go once again. Larry Mastropieri, broker owner of the Mastropieri Group, alongside myself, John Laws, as we're going to be talking about a lot of South Florida construction through the highs and lows of the housing market and everything else. It seems like it's just business as usual for what's happening with construction here in South Florida. Larry, tell me I'm wrong. I mean, it just seems like all these luxury high rises, they keep going up, whether you're in Palm Beach County, Broward County, Miami, you name it. It just seems like, nothing's changed in that respect.
We always have projects to talk about every week.
Yeah, something to talk about.
Nothing's changed.
Right. And one of the biggest ones, if you're familiar with downtown West Palm Beach, has been going on the north side of that. And of course, you never forget your first, and maybe that'll apply here. It's the first condo of the Nora district. So, people are going to be interested to see how that pans out. I spent some time looking at this the other day. They got a great website, like so many different things going on with the interactive views of, hey, this is Nora, the Nora district in West Palm Beach. I mean, I think when it's done, it'll be awesome, but there's still work to be done. I believe they're opening their first shops after Labor Day. So it's just around the corner. I mean, look at that. Look at that beautiful animation.
Yeah.
This is
great.
Very well done. I hadn't actually watched the whole video. That's really good.
Yeah. They're right to your point. They did a good job with this video and hyping this up.
Yeah.
This has been a long time
hotel,
coming.
Isn't it? The white one right there. I think yes.
Yeah, because the condos and the other stuff are along Federal Highway, which we'll talk about, and kind of why we're talking about this now. Because Nora has been something that we've talked about in the past.
A lot.
It's something we've been hyping up. We're excited about, but they just got approval for the first condo building in the project, which is pretty cool. This building right here. So this seems like it's happening. Right, which is good.
I would hope so. I mean, they put so much time and resources into it.
For those of you who don't know much about the Nora district and where it is, this is downtown West Palm right here, right? All right, and this is the heart of West Palm, downtown. And if you go just a quarter mile north and you stay east of the train tracks, so just south of Palm Beach Lakes, west of US 1 or Federal, right in this triangle, or
it is. I mean, kind of right where that gray marker is towards the north, or actually, you have it marked out. Okay, so 1105 North Dixie Highway is where it'll be located, and
right here.
Yeah, they all look great in the renderings and on paper, but of course, it represents a huge first step in trying to turn this part of West Palm Beach into something that people want to flock to.
What's incredible about this is this group who put this together, and we kind of knew about it as they were putting it together because we own stuff just to the west of the train tracks over here, quite a bit actually. So we're pretty involved over here, and we've done a lot of work and brokerage work over here too. This group has basically assembled all of this.
Yeah.
And that means, look at all these parcels that they've assembled: single family homes, commercial, just street.
It's like $1 billion, isn't it? I mean, that's the figure.
It's a big number. And what's cool about this project is because they've kind of parceled it out, they're just taking it down little by little here. So now they got this condo piece approved. They'll go ahead and do that. And frankly, that could stand alone in itself. Like, even if they weren't doing all this other stuff, they could just build this condo project, right? Which is kind of neat. And then again, even if they weren't building this condo project and had all this strip here, which is what the video was showing, basically the strip is here. You can see it. They've been working on this for so long, you could see them demoing stuff from the satellite views. All of this, would be cool on its own, in its own right. And frankly, this area was very forgotten and run down, and they just started picking this stuff up in, I don't know, between 2015 and present.
Oh, it's been that long.
I know for a fact 2019 this was active, but I think they were playing with this, and the original seeds of this secretly started prior, right, to when it became a little bit more public facing. So yeah, this is incredible. 40 acres of warehouse. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just awesome. So, and then
now you said you own properties to the west of that on the other side of the train tracks here.
Yeah.
Now my question is, at the time when you were making the investments in that, were you aware that something was going down in what has become Nora, or was it just coincidental?
So, this is great. So my fourth ever real estate purchase period was here in downtown West Palm in this district called the Progressive Northwest. I didn't really know as much as I know now. And in hindsight, there were probably a ton of better places to purchase, but I found this deal in this neighborhood and went after it without knowing what the neighborhood was, and how rough it was and how difficult of a transaction it would be, and just to hold on to it. So basically we bought this thing, and then the following week or day, whatever it was, and I was managing these things at the time too. So this was really early days of me being a real estate investor. Following week, SWAT stormed the building. So,
that's the one, huh?
The story. Yeah. So I bought this thing without understanding the neighborhood, and the neighborhood is really tough, at least here. And it's getting better, but it's still tough. And so, like, for investors and owners that came in the Nora area, these guys, they proceeded to just buy everything, and they did like purchase option contracts until they had a large amount. And then once they did, they had capital and investors behind them, and they were able to buy everything out. Over here in the Progressive Northwest, it's a little different. There's a lot more to cover, right? This is like probably 5 times the amount of assets you would have to buy. And the CRA has designated this residential, where they were able to get this reclassified, right? Rezoned basically for what they wanted. And they did that kind of prior to executing and spending all the money. Whereas over here, it would be pretty hard to do that. So anyway, so to answer your question, John, I bought in here without knowing what was going on, and thus made lemonade out of lemons, right? So, and just became like very skilled at operating in this environment. And then we proceeded, believe it or not, which is insane, to buy more and more. And then we started doing multifamily transactions, deals we couldn't take down at the time. I brokered to friends. So there's a number of us in this community that all know each other very well. And I've touched a lot of these deals and brokered them, because I kind of had a connection in here. So as time went on, so the first deal, I had no idea they were doing any of this Nora stuff. The second deal, I had a sense they were playing with the Nora stuff, but it wasn't like a certain thing. It was just like, hey, here's a pitch deck. This is what we're thinking about doing. And it's like, well, okay, that's cool if that actually happens one day. Hope you guys get it done. And then, and now we're here today where it's like, okay, that's actually happening. They've executed, they purchased the properties, because the time I was made aware of it, they had all these options on all this dirt, all these buildings. They owned some stuff, but most of the stuff was just option contracts, and they were just waiting to figure out what they were going to do with it. So long story short, I find it interesting, and I always want to tie this back to, okay, this is a cool story. How is the real estate impacted around the area, right? And this is a huge net positive for West Palm downtown. I mean, this is going to help improve just the quality of everything here too, right? Just south of there, because one of the, I think, issues West Palm has is there's a lot of rough. It's really rough around the edges, right?
Right. I was going to say, when I always think about when I first came down here, and on Netflix, that documentary had come up on Jeffrey Epstein, and the first episode is explaining the dynamic of Palm Beach versus West Palm Beach. And I remember, and they're showing like West Palm Beach where I was living, and like it's the hood, and I'm like, wait a minute. It's like I've lived in some rough neighborhoods. This isn't that bad. Now,
Oh,
granted,
yeah,
I hadn't gotten out much. I mean, you don't have to make a couple wrong turns to find like, oh God, I am not in a good place right now. But
I mean,
I was like, it makes a lot more sense now, and it seems like they have gone to a lot of trouble, particularly guys like Stephen Ross, to sort of, put an end to that.
yeah, and it's still happening here in that sector. There's still a lot of issues. Just to so I mentioned SWAT storming the building. This isn't a one-off event. The one of the other guys who owns he has a few development projects in the community too now, because we've sold him like land and put it together, and he's planning a big project, an 80-unit project, as he assembles more land. But long story short, he has relationships with the police department, and they have cameras pointed at like doing drug busts with cameras, and they're renting apartments for the cops to hang out in and post up to watch this stuff. It's crazy. I mean, we've had contractors walk away from working there because of just AK-47 shots as people are running down the street. That's the level of
I was going to say, I think I remember you and Aaron talking about that very thing.
Yeah. One of our property managers the other day, this was probably 6 months, 7 months ago. He was there. It was duskish. He was getting ready to leave, and somebody pop, shoots the gun, and the guy's running down the street. Just so happens he jumps a fence, ends up in our property where Aaron is, and Aaron's walking around the corner to go to his car, and this guy is like holding a gun in front of Aaron, right? And it's just like,
I'm just picturing that moment of awkward silence between them, probably.
It's just like, oh my god. So fortunately, that property manager, very adept at managing these situations and these circumstances for a number of reasons that we won't disclose, but he handled himself properly and didn't get shot. Right.
That's good.
So that's what you have here. But our perspective, and we say this all the time, is just in these neighborhoods here, the transition is happening so fast. The construction, like we talked about, is like not slowing down. You have projects. So this is Nora, and we've talked about all the downtown stuff, but Nora is going to be a beast, and that's going to change everything over here. Over here, you can already see it.
That's where that's the Doge building right there, isn't it? Oh, no, that's farther over.
It's farther over. It's over here.
Yeah, it's over there.
But like these building, this has all been demoed and is going to be developed. This will all be developed. This will all be developed. This one, and so gradually.
All this by the in the Vanderbilt campus.
But this is north of Vanderbilt campus. Right. So like this is what I think changes West Palm. If you clean up this neighborhood here, which it's in the process of just through developers' sheer will of building and expanding north, if you clean this up and you push all the way to Palm Beach Lakes with like just a good community, which I think will happen one day, you won't have riffraff wandering 2 streets south here in downtown, right? And then you'll have a really clean downtown, because Palm Beach Lakes will be the dividing factor. So here, this neighborhood's interesting, and just for context, like there's nothing available for sale in here really. There's some random stuff over here. Yeah, I was actually surprised by this. I'm used to seeing more than this. A simple search, right? Nothing's on the list. And then these things are east, but there's one random thing that popped up for 300. But you can see, look at how cheap this thing is in that neighborhood. It's because it's so darn rough. And then if you do the same for residential income, because most of this stuff is like multifamily in here. And so you could see there's 4 multifamilies kind of in this neighborhood, ranging from 325 to 950. If you get in here, I mean, just like here, this is the type of stuff, boarded up, bombed out, a random massive house that doesn't make any sense.
That is
right. just random. This is like a 1930s, 40s property.
Yeah, I was gonna say that must be a good photo.
Yeah, 1921 Dade pine. They get a lot of Dade pine wood construction in here because of how old it is. Remember, we talked about this. This was the neighborhood that once was used as housing for the people that served and and worked at the breakers or at any of these like ritzy places.
Right.
And so they would live here and relocate and then cross in little boats or whatever to get over here to the island. How crazy, right?
They had canoes, kayaks.
They canoed, they kayaked across in the morning to go to work. And so this was like kind of like on some level like a rundown little area. And so that's the history here, and that's why this is so tough. But long term, if you can hang out, and now everybody's been saying this as long as I know, right? Like 15 years ago when we were in there, you bring brokers through, they're like, yeah, 20 years from now, this place is going to be different. Well, we're coming up on 20 years. It's different, but it's not different enough. I think you got another 15, like 20 years probably for sure. This all changes dramatically, and this becomes like, Airbnb central, where everybody's like using this to like stay, and it's safe and clean, and there's probably some new construction homes in there.
I was gonna say, are people renting while they're going to Vanderbilt or something?
Totally. Yeah, it becomes something like that long term, but man, you better be ready to hold on. So long story short, we're holding for forever in here, and we're going to ride it out because we have a number of assets in there, and just, man, it's the amount of money it costs to just operate these things because it's so tough of a neighborhood. Just things break, garbage. You don't appreciate it. Like we have our own garbage people come and remove garbage from our property every week, and they fill up a trailer.
What do you mean your own? Oh, because it's too much because
people just throw shit everywhere. It's just like just shit. And I mean, just there like every week, it's just like, if you don't, for example, there'll be like a couch on the property on the grass in the middle of nowhere. And it's like, who did that? Tenants? No, none of us. Somebody just dumped a couch on our yard, mattresses, just weird stuff. The community redevelopment agency owns stuff in this neighborhood, and they can't even keep a handle on it. They got homeless living underneath the homes that are vacant. It's just chaos, man. They're trying, and they'd probably not like me saying all this about this community, but it's true, man. It's like,
I'm sure, I just haven't been through that part of West Palm very often. So, I don't think you had to be Sherlock if a lot of that's going on to notice some things.
Okay. But to to move this back off our tangent, right? This multi-phase mixed-use redevelopment at Nora is going to be a huge game changer. I think really help move the community forward in cleaning up certain areas. And looks like, from what I'm seeing here, just to give off the stats here, so you got multifamily, 350 plus units are planned, retail office, almost 99,000 square feet of retail and office space, hotels, they're talking about 250,000 square feet possibly. Additional retail office restaurants, almost 250 square feet. Estimated value $30 million for the condo apartment phase alone, which is actually not that bad, right?
No.
And this is a private project, and this isn't a Steve Ross project, right? Which is
that was going to be my question, because I just feel like Related Ross is attached to everything, and yet as I'm going up and down the notes, I'm like, no, I don't see Related Ross here. They have like everything, south of it.
But this condo building they're building, I mean, 11 stories, 122 residences, almost 20,000 square feet of ground floor retail, which is cool. 2 to 3 bedroom units, 1,600 to 2,600 square feet. Let's see. Special features, 6 guest suites and 4 residences with private terrace pools overlooking the Intracoastal. Okay, so these must be up top, those big ones, because that's the only way you're looking at the Intracoastal from there, right?
In theory, you can see it. I mean,
yeah, exactly. 2 pool decks, 2 pickleball courts, a fitness center. That's interesting. 2 pickleball courts. I wonder where they're putting. They must be using a lot of space, a lot of dirt over there for this.
There wasn't a lot of renderings for it, because I was looking for it, the other day.
Yeah, all you really have is what we're. At the stage. There we go.
Yeah, just different. Right? There was a couple different angles of that. Yes.
Yeah. So that's cool. Let's see what else. And then the apartment building, 350 units, as we discussed, 11 stories, 291 of them will be market rate apartments. 52 of them will be workforce rate, which is not really cheaper, but it is what it is. 7 townhomes, and then another 18,000 square feet of retail and 65,000 square feet of amenities.
Which
And
the townhomes thing kind of confused me. I'm like, where would you stick the townhomes?
I think they build them off. We've seen this before where like some of the first floor units become this like 2-story, like townhome, like walk up entrance type thing, which is kind of cool. It could be cool depending on the design. Looks like, to your point, phase 1, 2005. So very soon. And then construction starts on the condos and apartments 2025 or 2005, 2025.
I know, well, I was like, wait,
2026.
I thought you meant that was how long they've been like waiting to build. I was like, oh my God.
No. Yeah. And then 201 room Nora hotel slated for 2026. These guys have been moving. They've been moving dirt. I've been over there. It's just like rocking and rolling. This project is on its way. It's happening. Oh, this
and
is
just
cool
looking
too.
at Google Maps, you always talk about the statistics, lagging indicators. Google Maps is my lagging indicator. Like, you know, when I see something, I'm like, oh, I mean, something must have happened in the last year.
Totally. And so Nora, as you mentioned earlier, is the largest redevelopment in West Palm Beach since City Place, which opened in 2000, which is kind of interesting.
Oh, I didn't realize City Place was that old.
Yeah, 2000. They've revamped it since, for sure.
Oh, yeah, because when I first came down, they were doing a bunch of work.
Yeah. So this is all this is just one piece of a bunch of billionaires playing around in here, right? It's just, you got Jeff Green, you got Steve Ross, you got other big players in here. This city's going somewhere. It's happening. Yeah.
It's exciting. I'm sure, with some of those guys. I mean, Stephen Ross is in his mid 80s. I'm sure at some point you kind of start thinking about legacy. There's no pockets and shrouds, and it's grateful that he's putting it here.
Him and Jeff Green are the guys that are going to be credited for building West Palm Beach, right? Yeah, that long term, like 20, 30 years from now.
I was going to say, even if Jeff Green doesn't get to put his name on the side of the building, which I guess was unofficially one of the reasons it fell through with the University of Florida satellite campus instead of Vanderbilt.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's talk about...
Are we going to talk about some more Stephen Ross-backed projects?
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Okay. Well, as if schools in Wellington weren't nice enough, we are going to have yet another one as billionaire Stephen Ross and related companies, which for anyone who's not familiar with related Ross or Stephen Ross, he also owns the Miami Dolphins, but they've just announced plans for a massive new private school in Wellington. It's part of a sweeping mixed-use development that could reshape the area. It's a brand new nonprofit private school in Wellington called Wingrove Academy. It's expected to serve around 1,700 students from pre-kindergarten all the way through 12th grade. The initiative arrives amid soaring demand and shrinking seat availability in South Florida's prestigious private school market. I didn't know it was such a prestigious private school market.
Yeah, this is kind of, they say Palm Beach County or West Palm, like this is a little outside of, if you're living in downtown West Palm, you're probably not sending your kid here. Maybe it's a little bit of a journey every day. It's definitely more of a Wellington project. Here, I'll share my screen. Yeah.
Now, if memory serves me correct, that this was this not the initial site, because there was protests or I guess residents that weren't pleased with the prospect of putting something in West Palm Beach. Remember, because they sent out the mass text messages.
Yeah.
I'm suddenly
I don't know if
it was related to this.
Yeah, I thought it was too. So that's super interesting. We'll have to get back to everyone on this. This could be just yet another project that they're working on. He might be getting more involved with schools and private schools, because this seems to be an investment that's in high demand right now, right in the area. There's so many. You and I were talking about this, or we did a little short on this recently. There's just so much demand for private education in the South Florida market that you probably could put up 2 of these easily and still be okay. But this is the location that for this project we're referencing, which is right on the outskirts of Wellington's downtown, which is over here, and where a lot of development has gone recently. The malls over here, etc. And there's some big schools or big communities, master plan communities, Olympia being one of them, next door, which we've done a lot of work in the past. You know it well.
That was good. I mean, that was the mall. If I had to go to the mall, that'd be the one I'd go to. I see it's just north of that.
Totally. Yeah, 100%. And this is where Adam had his house.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, 71 acres. Mixed use vision, including hospitality, multifamily, and retail alongside the school. So not just a straightforward school.
No, they get to go out to lunch every day.
Yeah. I mean, this looks pretty epic. This design, it's kind of unique, right? Wow. All right. Look at this. Are you kidding me?
I wonder if they'll try to turn it into like the next IMG Academy, the one that's a little bit up north with all the sports.
In Bradenton. Yeah. I know it well. I played there.
Really?
Yeah. I used to train there in the summers growing up for soccer. Yeah. This looks even, I mean, this is way fancier. Yeah. At least from my perspective. So let's see. Program tested in traffic study preliminary 600. So traffic studies approving 600 multifamily units, 150 hotel rooms, 250,000 square feet, shopping center, 82,000 square foot of restaurants, and a private school modeled for 1,200 students. But they said something like, when it's all said and done, 1,700 students. So, which is kind of unique. Yeah, let's see. There might be more. Yeah, here's some more images of the project at K Park site in Wellington. Elevate ED.
I didn't know. I think it's Elevate Ed.
This is great.
Because I know. Yeah, I was like, it's like, well, that doesn't sound right. I guess you should consult a physician. I think there's ways to treat that.
So we were doing the shorts earlier, John, and I don't know if I said Elevate ED or Elevate Ed. We might have to reshoot that one. Yeah.
I thought I was going to say, I tried to put it in,
you put it
phonetically.
Now when I said it out loud publicly.
Well, I mean, because it is the net, right? I mean, when you see just two, letters, I mean, you naturally think that it's an acronym of sorts.
Yeah, that's great. So
ask your doctor if Elevate ED is right for you.
So true. So they tried that name.
So, it's like, it's wasn't the best name, but they're doing a good job in every other respect. All right, man. So this Wellington again is another one that just quietly, we've talked about them a lot. Everybody's growing.
Again, Wellington hasn't had as much massive construction. It's more of a single family home residential area that's on the outskirts of West Palm and some of the other coastal cities. But we're starting to see some bigger projects out here, more so low rise type stuff. But the investors are moving out here for sure. The developers are moving out here. There's more land available, right? And it's obvious that just South Florida in general, as we talked about a little bit too, in another short we were shooting, which is we need to be building more, frankly, if you look at the actual stats, right? When it comes to residential housing, we are behind or short on the amount of homes and condos and housing that we are developing compared to what we expect demand to be next year, et cetera. Right.
Which is still kind of surprising to me, just because we've done stories about how the population rate of growth has gone down a bunch. I mean, it's like inflation, it's down, it's still growing, but it's not as much as it was. And yet we're still playing catch up in regards to housing, it feels like.
100%. I think I think generally speaking, though, it always feels like this. I say this to like all our clients. The market's changing, it's softening, but as a seller, you're going to get on the market and feel like there's not a lot of interest, or it might be a little soft, right? And it's not what it used to be, for sure. And then when we pivot and you sell, and now we're going to look for your next home, you're going to get on the market and feel like there's no inventory and there's nothing to, and everything's too pricey, and it's just going to feel that way. And I think that's a symptom of just not enough new supply hitting the market. And so it's probably true that we need more especially in order to get prices to kind of calm down a little bit. And that's like kind of the ebb and flow of like, if you build a lot more, especially like in Orlando, et cetera, they can just build a bunch. They can just keep going further and further out.
Yeah.
In other states, they can do that very easily too. Homestead's got that ability. You just build a bunch of homes. There's just like thousands of homes coming online. Like, that's great for kind of controlling prices in the marketplace by adding new supply if the population is growing. And unfortunately, we're not adding a ton of new supply, especially single family homes. Like, that's just it's not a thing. So, yeah. But this will be a huge addition to Wellington, this project. And it looks like this is moving forward as well, which is big news. So,
all right, let's keep
go
it
south.
moving and switch things up and head down to Surfside, where we've talked about this before. There has been a lot of talks of building a new development over the crash site of the Surfside condo collapse back in 2021. And it appears that the permit has gone through, the foundation permit approved for what they're calling the Delmore. That's at 8777 Collins Avenue in Surfside. Larry, there it is. The one with the huge pool over the middle of it. The glass bottom pools. Now, if you aren't familiar with any of the details, it's a Zaha Hadid design masterpiece, which evidently, if you're into architecture, this guy is right there I was going to say, he is right there with the best of them.
It's a girl. It's a female.
No.
Yeah. I'm almost certain. My fiance is a designer. And I think she passed away. Let's see. Let's confirm this. I'm like almost certain. Yeah. See. Yeah. She's a Iraqi British architect.
That's not okay.
Yeah, she died in 2016.
Wow, she died several years ago.
See, I knew this because it was like a big deal to my fiance.
Thank you, Dana.
Yes, Dana. Thank you. Thank you for educating us. That's great. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So
her firm's a big deal. She's designed a ton of stuff in Miami as well as Dubai and around the world. And just a very famous, very, very famous architectural firm. She's no longer around, but her firm is, and looks like they chose her to do this. And I guess that makes sense. This is an international developer, right? A Dubai-based.
Right.
developer.
And I was going to say, I mean, when I think of all the flashy, huge high rises in Dubai that you've seen, if you haven't been there, like me, you see them on video and things. That is exactly the kind of thing I would picture.
Oh, this is cool. I didn't know this. Zaha Hadid, nicknamed the Queen of the Curve, was an acclaimed architect known for her futuristic flowing designs that transformed skylines worldwide. Her work blended art and engineering, earning her the title of the first woman to win some architecture prize. She died in 2016, as I mentioned. Great. See, if we just read this,
architecture prize. Come on, you didn't know the Pritzker?
Yes, that's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So they've already invested over $25 million in this.
It's happening. And they said the smallest unit starts at 15 million. Yeah. This is a high-end building. Yeah. So they're making this happen right now. They said they're in the deep soil mixing phase, stabilizing the site, creating watertight perimeters around the basement. It's already 1/3 complete, and it's wrapping up shortly. After that, they're going to start putting the pilings in the ground, the foundation going over 100 feet deep. Vertical construction kicks off third quarter of 2026. So end of end of next year, you can expect them to start going vertical, which is pretty cool. And they're going to have 37 full and half floor residences, averaging over 7,000 square feet. That's pretty neat.
Wow.
Full floor residences. So yeah, that's cool. These are going to be incredible. 4 to 5 bedrooms, 2 wings with no more than 2 residences per floor for ultimate privacy. A rooftop deck, panoramic views, 75-foot indoor lap pool.
That's right. You got yes. I remember looking at some of the renderings from this before. Obviously, everybody is captivated by the one up on the roof. But there is the remnants of the Surfside collapse, and that's wow. Which they're. Correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that they have a memorial that's going up right next to it. So trying to, honor the memory of everyone who had died from that event.
Yeah, exactly. And this is. I mean, this location is pretty solid. It's right next to Bal Harbor, in between, South Beach, Miami Beach, and Bal Harbor. I mean, pretty solid location.
Yeah.
So this will be. I think this will be successful. Looks like they're investing big money into this, and they're gonna expect big dollar returns on this as far as or for the size of these units, right? And so
which I mean, I'd have to imagine the previous building. I mean, it had to have been like one of the oldest ones on the block, if you will, right? I mean,
right, yeah. Which is kind of
because of the collapse. But I'm just saying when I think of Surfside and just all these super nice high rises, when you saw what the building right before it went down, it was like that would even be located there.
Right. Agreed. I mean, but that's kind of South Florida for you, right? You just have these 1970s, 1960s buildings blended in. That's super Miami, right? They're trying, all these developers are trying to build more and more and get their hands on it because the demand is just wild. Oh, and there's Indian Creek.
Oh, there's Indian Creek. I didn't realize it was that close to it.
Yeah. The Billionaire Bunker. So, I mean, it's right in the sweet spot of everything. So,
has Bezos not bought the entire island yet?
He's still working on it. Yeah.
Gosh. Oh man. All right. So, going from Surfside to Hallandale Beach, there's a brand new condo building going up, 121 units. Not quite the $15 million range. This one's a little lower. This is the price is starting at $375,000. So just a little bit of a difference there. But it is set to transform a vacant lot into one of the city's most talked about residential destinations.
It's kind of a unique location to do this. To your point, a very different project. This is where it's at, right? This is what they're working on this right here.
Was this the one we had talked about before that they had already bought the land? There was some sort of maybe it wasn't that one.
I think this is a different project. I think you're thinking of a different one. Yep.
You know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yep. So I mean, like the circle's like up here, which you kind of know that heads into the beach, right? Mm-hmm. So this is like pretty far south. I think I was going to say the park racing here, the Gulfstream Park Racing, is right next door, which is like they do the horses. I thought they did dogs too. Am I making that up? Horses for sure.
I couldn't tell you.
I've been here before. Yeah. So this is next door.
Oh,
there's a little casino. It's cool. It's kind of a cool thing to do. So this area is transforming. There's stuff going on, but it's surrounded by a lot of just basic, less than average residential or average residential in the area. Like, look at how dense this is all 1950s, 1960s type stuff just floating around here. And then you start putting this thing up right here in the middle of like all that. It's kind of it's a little random. I think, is this a trailer park? Yeah, this is a trailer
Looks
park.
like a trailer park.
Mobile home park next door. So welcome to Florida, South Florida, where you can just live in something brand new for this is it. This is what a lot of our buyers that are relocating the area don't entirely get. Depends on what city you're in and what you're looking for, but I mean, you're really going to get this. This is what happens. You go one block, like we were talking about earlier in downtown West Palm. You go one block and you're getting shot. You go 2 blocks south and it's the heart of downtown West Palm. And so all of this is transitioning as the population grows, as the big money from everywhere in the world enters Florida, and it doesn't seem to be stopping, as you're talking about. So let's talk about this building, 7 Park condominium. So first off, it's a condominium project, right? Not a apartment building, which, you know, I would think an apartment building might be more interesting there. But anyway, who am I to judge? Let's see. And there's a park right across the street, which is why they're calling it 7 Park. And Sklar Architects are doing it. It's a $70 million project, which aims to bring modern design, as you mentioned. And then it's 8 stories, 200,000 square feet, and 121 residences. Okay. Homes range from 500 to 1,600 square feet, studios, 1 bedrooms to 3 bedroom options. So obviously different from some of the other projects we looked at. You could see the different.
$375 for a studio?
Yeah, well, so that's actually
is that good? I mean, it's like I just lose track here of what's reasonable.
I actually think that's reasonable for I don't want to say it's reasonable, but it's new construction, and you could buy something for $375 that's new construction. That's like unheard of, I feel like, in South Florida, right? Well, even if it is 500 square feet.
I was gonna say a 500-foot studio.
Hey, this is a different strategy, different market than some of the other stuff we've been talking about. And so this could make a lot of sense for them here. Again, this is like, people need housing, and this could be a good option. And so let's see, the largest units possibly selling for $800,000. It's a lot. $800K for that location. I think they'll get it done. It's affordable, relatively speaking, but like, I don't know how do you comp this, really? You know, they're kind of just speculating, which is kind of what new construction is anyway. But it's interesting. They'll probably get it, but it's going to be, they have 121 of them to sell. So if you like the racetrack, maybe that's the deal.
I mean, I was going to say, if you're an avid race fan, you have it right there.
Or a degenerate gambler.
I was going to say, you're not going to own it for long.
Yeah. That's great. Units feature Florida ceiling windows, panoramic city and park views, and Italian kitchens and baths. Buyers can also select from 3 furnishing packages curated with Addison House. Cool. Timeline for construction expected to begin in a month or two, October 2025, and finish in October 2027. The development cost is about $70 million, with the site itself acquired for $5.3 million. That'll be interesting to see how they do here. They have some pre-sales to get done. So,
well, I was about to say, I was like, you know, the magic of pre-sales, right? I mean, if you can pull that off.
Yeah, if they can pull that off, and again, they probably have some threshold that the lender's requiring them to meet on the pre-sale front. So they have to sell some of these.
So that's pretty standard now.
That's part of it.
Have that.
We were just with another developer the other day, and we were talking about another project that we got a little insight on. We'll probably share that next week because I didn't prepare it for this one. But he was suggesting that they hit, like, the agreement with the lender was 100 units pre-sold in this big development project, and they sold 70, and they didn't hit the threshold, and so that project stopped. They're not
so they'll call it off. And then just refund the pre-sale. Buyers and...
So it could be pretty messy, right? That's like to make that kind of bet and blow it up. It's not good for your rep. reputation as a developer. And I think that's part of the issue there too. I think the approach was slightly amateur, and because we heard some other stories about other parts of the project that weren't like being executed properly, and how big general contractors were just like, I don't want any part of this. So anyway, yeah, like if you're not, you really got to be one of these big boys to like and just kind of stick to the plan instead of try to get super creative with some ridiculous things that you don't really have a whole bunch of control over, because you can blow up so easily in these things, right? If you get the steel from this is what they were saying. The guy was trying to order steel from some random country because it was going to save him 30%. And that was a part of the strategy. And some of these GCs were like, we're not playing this game. Like, we're going to get steel from a place we can get steel from, and that's it. Right. And so stop messing around. Let's like guarantee the result instead of gamble on this unproven source. And he was trying to do a bunch of that stuff, which in theory sounds amazing.
Yeah,
but
if you pull it off.
If you pull it off, and delivering on time is like core to getting these projects done. I think that's a big part of what's happening at the Mandarin Oriental in Boca, right? Where it's just like they're just screwing up. Yeah. So, and even the big boys mess up, even on big projects. It doesn't always work. So, yeah.
Well, businesses don't always work, as that's been shown in some recent statistics. Evidently, South Florida business bankruptcies have spiked nearly 50% in the first half of this year. So I guess, there are a lot of people who take chances and things don't necessarily work out, be it restaurants, contractors, even major companies. But this is across Miami-Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach County. Wow. So between January and June, 152 companies filed for Chapter 7 liquidation or Chapter 11 reorganization. That is in the Southern District of Florida Bankruptcy Court. So that's a lot. Up 103 filings. Wow.
Yeah, that's up quite a bit. Yeah, so this is kind of a, it's an interesting signal. This is kind of what you and I have been talking about for a while, which is just things are expensive here.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
The market shifted, and as the market shifted and things are expensive, the weak or the unprepared or the unlucky get hurt. And
I feel like the unprepared. I feel like it's a lot of that.
Well, totally. Some of these people, though, if they time this, maybe 3 years earlier and you were on the run up, you would have just been saved and you would have been in a better position at that point. So it's tough. It's just tough. It doesn't always work. And this is an example of that 152 times. All right. That's crazy. Crazy. Yeah. So, I mean, things are expensive down here, and we're seeing a lot of people who aren't prepared for this type of action. The high cost, they're relocating. They're leaving the area. They're relocating to lower cost markets. We have a friend I had dinner with on Saturday night. Oh, by the way, we went to the EAU or the O. Right in Wellington, which is cool. I haven't been there in a long time, and so got to see all that, which is another billionaires who bought that, right? Larry,
I'm drawing a blank on his name. I know, I see him, and I can't think of it.
It's Larry Ellison,
Larry Ellison, co-founder of Oracle, right?
Yeah, the Oracle guy. Yep. So anyway, his restaurant or his massive hotel that he bought in the Palm Beach area, and so we're having dinner there. But the point is they own a business here. They're going to keep the business running here, and they're able to do this. And they're also going to open up another business in the Jacksonville market, and run both and live in the Jacksonville market, because the money they can make in Jacksonville is the same as far as what they can charge, but the cost of living and operating is half. Is right? It really? That was their math. They were just like, the operation cost for the business in Jacksonville is just wildly cheaper, and the cost of living is wildly cheaper, and so they're ready to and preparing to move. We were helping them. They're renting down here, and so we were preparing to help them buy a home here, and then they've kind of pivoted to Jacksonville, which is pretty interesting. And so they're going to continue to operate here. They have an event planning business here, and they do that in the Miami to Palm Beach market. and so they'll continue to run their warehouse. And
as I'm looking at some of the cliff notes here for that South Florida Business Journal article about the main reasons for these driving bankruptcies, lingering aftershocks of the pandemic. That's quite a lingering effect now. I mean, it's like it's 5 years. We're 5 years now, guys.
Yeah, I guess some of this bankruptcy stuff might take time too. So I wonder how long it spends in court.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know, but I could see a little bit of that. But like they label like some of the top bankruptcies, and so it looks like a lot of like restaurants and like service-based businesses, right? Salt 7 on La Solis bankrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza Fiore, is that how you say it? Chain in Miami-Dade. Chef Adriana's Vineyard Restaurant in Kendall. Luxury home builder. South Florida Airline, a vacation rental startup with $50 million in debt. Telecom company in Boca Raton owning nearly 14 million. So this is kind of interesting. There's all types of businesses feeling the pain right now. And it's just,
it doesn't stop there either. Personal bankruptcies are up to 23% year over year. Chapter 7 filings increased from 3,400 to 4,100, driven by high interest rates, inflation, and record credit card balances. I've been seeing the credit card stuff a lot lately.
Yeah. So we're in the cycle. We are in the cycle. The market has changed. The economic cycle is different today than it was 3-4 years ago, without question. And we're not so much on the upward trend right now as we are on possibly the downward trend.
Yeah.
And when things change in that peak is where people get caught and things get caught. So, and this is what we're seeing. So the question is this going to get worse, or is it just going to kind of hover around this and then we'll eventually work our way out of it? I suspect South Florida has the benefit of just a lot of net positives that will help just keep it from,
there's a lot of money here and people are still going to retire.
Yep. A lot of people relocating to the area. I think we're getting more retirement to other parts of Florida now because of the high cost of South Florida. I think South Florida is becoming more of like the New York environment where you come to build a career, work hard, that type of stuff, and earn a living and enjoy the atmosphere. Or you're uber wealthy and you come to do that and also just vacation here, right? And this is a huge destination. So let's talk about
the autonomous shuttle transportation service.
Let's talk about it. This is kind of funny.
Have you taken it? I didn't even know that we had it.
We got to try this when it comes out here. When is it starting? Let's see.
I thought it, or is it not until next year? I saw
so
it.
Let's give people so Boca Raton is stepping into the future of transportation with autonomous electric shuttles soon rolling through the city's most popular destinations. So let me show you what this thing looks like. Hold on, there's got to be photos here.
I was going to say, I think I've seen photos of it. I think Tony was asking for photos one time, like for a listing and showing featured images of stuff right around the area. If I'm thinking of the right thing.
Yeah, I got to find the photo that I saw because I put this on because someone sent this to me.
Yeah, that's it. I've seen this, so I think it's already out.
So right now Boca Raton has something called the Boca Connect Circuit Shuttle. This is basically
that's what I'm thinking.
Fancy golf cart that is street legal. Somebody drives it and they pick you up and they transport you wherever you want. And there's an app or something of that nature. And it kind of picks you up in the general Boca Raton area, which is pretty cool. Like it covers an awesome area, in my opinion. A lot of the core neighborhoods. So if you live in East Boca Raton, in the central East Boca Raton, central South, you're going to get this coverage, which is really cool. And so you can see where it covers, right?
Oh,
and
wow.
so you just use this app, and then this thing picks you up right here, and then you're doing your thing, which is cool. They'll take you downtown, whatever, and then I think the red area rides that begin and end in the red service area on the base service area map are free. Okay, and then rides that begin or end in the blue service area on the base service area map will be $2 per rider, with $1 for each additional rider, capped at $5 per ride for any one-way trip, which is awesome. $5, and you can fit six. How many people? Five, six
I can
people.
tell you're in the blue. I think I'm. Where am I?
You're not in the blue.
Oh man, story of my life.
So here's what happened when they first rolled it out. I wasn't in the blue. Over here, because I'm right by the beach, they didn't have any of this, which made no sense. It's a little weird that certain areas over here aren't in the blue. Like they wouldn't have to walk to the end of the street to get picked up. It's ridiculous. And these are like, by the way, just for everyone's benefit, these are like, $10 million.
Yeah, I was gonna say those are the really nice. That's like Lake Harbor and.
Yeah. So whatever. I mean, anyway, it's a little weird, but what's cool is Royal Palm Yacht and Country Club. A lot of this stuff was not initially in the zone, and now they've expanded it. Looks like they're having some success with this. Other cities like Delray have this same thing.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. And so, here you go. Here's what it looks like right now. So this is cool. Great. But now the reason why we're talking, okay, here's a little car too. It looks like they got the cars. I haven't drove those.
You know what Delray should do? They should outlaw all, depending on certain hours of day or night, all traffic on Atlantic Ave except those things, just to cut down on the traffic. Because you go nowhere.
What if
it's busy?
What if you just eliminated like from just all the way east from I keep on saying Seacrest, but
Federal or
you know which road I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
All the way east, just that core downtown area.
I'd be okay with it.
Don't drive. Just make it a street where you can walk. Like where would the traffic go? It's going to be on all those other side streets, which is chaos probably. So I'm sure they've like considered this, and it's like a disaster. But still, I think so. So I think I agree with you. They should do some kind of traffic moderation. Oh, here's this thing. Here's what I was looking for. Hold on, let me see if I can play this stupid thing.
Oh man,
the music's good too. All right, so this is it. So this is what some version of this is being rolled out in Boca. So now it's just
the Florida man stories that are going to come with this thing.
It's going to be
epic. Yeah, it's
going to be mad. I'm so pro do this, but like
I'm saying, but it's like, oh man, I'm like, but when I say pro do it, it's like I do it with a bag of popcorn and anticipating the train wreck.
Totally, I think it's great though if they have a bunch of these running around, and then
it is the future. I'm sick of driving. Screw this crap.
And it's just like there's tons of these running around, and you just kind of every like 5 minutes you can get picked up in one of these at a place, or 10 minutes. That's pretty sweet. So let's figure out, when did they say they're rolling this out? So Guidant has announced an agreement with the city of Boca Raton to launch an autonomous shuttle service in partnership with Circuit, which is the system they have set up in place right now. The operator of the city's existing Boca Connect shuttle program. The pilot will begin this fall with a 0.6 mile loop inside Meisner Park before expanding to cover a 2.6 mile route reaching Royal Palm Place. I think it's awesome. I think this is super cool.
Well, I'll tell you what's especially cool is that it goes to the edge of FAU. I mean, I think that's terrific for college kids.
Totally. Yeah. Okay, coverage area: south of Glades Road, east of I-95, north of Hillsborough Canal. Okay. West of Northeast 5th Way, south of Southeast 5th Ave, Royal Palm Way. Okay. Expanded to a portion of the Barrier Island from Gumbo Limbo Nature Center. So I might eventually get it. Rides with the red service area. Okay, this is just, so in theory they're going to use the same thing. It looks like the same setup that we know wherever the heck it is.
I'm just laughing at the aerodynamics or lack thereof of that thing. I mean,
So good.
It just looks like a box on wheels.
It's a box on wheels. It's like I don't. Okay, whatever. It's 100% electric.
Well, that's good.
Quiet and sustainable, and it's good designed to reduce congestion and emissions. I don't know. This thing getting stuck and freaking out in the middle of Palmetto Park Road. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's going to reduce.
I'm picturing. Do you remember like that Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger? You know, and I think it was Johnny Cab, and he pulls it out. You don't remember? Oh my God, that's what I just keep thinking of.
That's great. That's great. I could see this kind of being a mess. It looks like so. We've had the Boca Connect, the thing we talked about earlier. This thing itself since June of 2024. So not very long.
That's what I say. I mean, I've seen pictures. I've seen the thing in Meisner Park.
And in April, they extended it for another year at the city council meeting. And yeah, this is great. So we'll see what comes of this. So I guess in the fall, this is going to be super interesting. I'm gonna do a little video of us getting on this thing, and we'll see how that goes. Yeah. So stay tuned, people.
I guess I don't know if it said on there or not. See, is it like a fixed loop, or can you actually tell it where to go?
I think it's a loop, man. Okay. I don't think it's it says a loop, and maybe there's stops along the way, kind of like a tram almost.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm picturing like a trolley.
Yeah, like a trolley. It's the new trolley.
Yeah.
And Tesla's rolling out, not here, but Tesla's rolling out their autonomous taxi service, starting testing, like some of the other places. This is and this is
didn't Southern California burn all theirs down in the ICE riots?
I have no idea.
Okay. And on that note, unless there's anything else we want to touch on here, we're good. Okay. On behalf of Larry Mastropieri, I'm John Laws. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and we will see you on the next one.
See you guys.